Hey guys, Daniel Steen, Select Advice Finance. Just want to have another quick chat to you about construction this time. Now, it's been said that construction is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, all right? Because there are so many moving parts and so many things that can go wrong, but at the end of the day, also so many things that can go right, because you move into a brand new home that is yours, that you are the first person to ever move into. So the key here is to understand construction and understand that it's not that difficult. It's no more difficult than buying a normal house. It just has more moving parts, that's all. So I guess to define construction, we're really talking about borrowing money to build a house. Now, there are two different types of contracts to allow you to do this. So the first one is a one-part contract. And a one-part contract simply is a contract that you sign. Generally, it will be an off-the-plan apartment or a townhouse. And what it allows you to do is take the land and the build and put it into one contract, and then on settlement day, when you pay the money that you've borrowed from the bank, all right, then you move into your brand new house. It's very simple, very easy, and generally with apartments and with units, that's how it's done. The second type of construction contract is what they call a two-part contract. And a two-part contract is a little bit different because it has two parts. It has a component of land, which you will need, and it has a component of construction. Now, with a two-part contract, generally, you will settle each one individually. So, to make it really easy to understand, you buy a block of land, okay, and then when that land is titled, and you've done all the necessary checks and balance through the bank and the conveyancer, then you settle on that land and that land is then yours. So the first part of the contract is done. The second part of the contract is now construction. And with construction, as I said right at the very beginning, there are more moving parts. So there are things like council approvals, there are plans, there are builders, there are specifications. There are all these things that you need to be a part of to enable you to walk in the front door of your brand new house. So with a builder, what they will generally do is they will give you a summary or a quote on what it's going to cost you. We will take that to the bank and we'll get a valuation done. And as long as the valuation stacks up onto what an external party thinks that house is going to be worth, then the bank is happy to lend on that. What we then do is we get plans in place. So what does the house look like, the internal layout? We get specifications or inclusions in place, which are what are the things that are going inside the house? Things like taps, dishwashers, toilets, the PC items that every house needs. We put them all together and they give us what's called a fixed price building contract. Now, a fixed price building contract is really, really important because it gives you a fixed price on what it's going to cost you to build that house. And the builders have to keep the cost at that level. So we take that fixed price building contract, we give it to the bank, and the bank will lend against that. And what happens then is the bank will then pay the builder in stages in order to allow the builder to be paid so that we can then build your house. Now, I just want to touch very quickly on staged draws, so progress draws. And progress draws are a mechanism that the banks have in place to allow builders to build. And generally there are 5 mechanisms there, 5 planned staged draws. So the general ones are slab, so the concrete base goes down on the house. The bank will give you an invoice, the builder will give you an invoice. You give that to the broker or the bank, and the bank then pays the builder. Then they move on to the next stage, which is what they call frame. So that's all your timber, all your metal structure going onto that slab. And the same thing happens. The builder will give you an invoice, you sign it and give it to the broker or the bank, and the bank will then pay the builder their money. All right, and the same will then go for lock-up, which is the house is locked up, the roof is on, the walls are in. The fourth one is what they call fit-out. So it puts all those PC items into the house. And the last one is certificate of occupancy, where everything's finished. You throw your bags in, you walk into the house, you grab a beer and you sit on the balcony and you go, hey, this is awesome, isn't it? All right, so they're the 5 stage draws. Now, the way that works with you as the consumer who's borrowing the money is that at